welcome you in to a Fastball Friday here on the Morning Rush. We are on the road today. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Your calls and texts are welcome this morning on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. You can join us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. I think I remember all the ones titled. But you can watch us. Chuck's with me, wait for the camera, Chuck. Good morning. All of our ugly faces, nothing on here. Christian Johnson's back in the studio this morning. And guess where Ty's at?
Something about Montana, from what I understand.
Someone's getting married, for sure.
Sounds like a bro. Sounds like a bro.
That's what he said. All right, a lot to get to through the morning. We're going to be talking about the NWA RV show and outdoor party. It's going to be happening this weekend. The red-white game's happening this weekend. The Masters got underway yesterday, did not finish.
Tiger's playing.
Yeah, he's going to be playing early this morning, too, so we'll get to follow Tiger along. You're doing the red-white game tomorrow. We'll broadcast that. And you got to get to the complicated, tragic, hard to understand life of O.J. Simpson. This death pattern came out just after broke several nuts here yesterday. So a lot to get to. And the Razorbacks are playing this weekend at Alabama. Man, it has been a whirlwind of a week.
Yes, it has.
Think about the last 7 days, buddy. I mean, when we talked at the end of last week, we thought we were heading towards Chris Spears as coach. We know it's all unfolded. John Calipari, you had kind of a chance to catch your breath in the midst of all of this.
I caught my breath yesterday, to be honest. I'm full of breath today.
Are you?
So I rejuvenated yesterday. I'm ready for the football game tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. The weather's going to be great. Looking forward to seeing a lot of people. And I think it's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, I think it'll be a celebration of the Razorbacks in general. People are going to be excited there because John Calipari is your coach. I think people are going to be excited to see Bobby Petrino's offense for the first time. I know the scrimmages have been open to the public, but they haven't been, attended in mass. There have been tens of thousands there. It'll be the first look. I hope we have a good crowd tomorrow.
Well, I think that a lot of the time spring ball, and tomorrow may be an exception because of the weather, but a lot of times spring games have become SEC network events. People watch them now. You can watch it on television or listen to it on the radio, and you know who the players are. As opposed to going to the game and sometimes wondering what's going on. I do think we're going to have a good crowd tomorrow, though, in large part because of the weather, because people are in a good mood. Folks are going to get out. It's going to be I think it's going to be a busy weekend. And I think for a lot of people anyway, a noon start will be great. They can get up, go over, catch a few rays, and go on with the rest of your day. It'll be over in 2 hours.
Yeah, and I think the fact that it's 2 hours, you can take the kids, you can maybe hold their attention span, probably will bring a crowd out. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be 40,000 people, but I think you'll have 25 or 30,000.
I think it'll be a good crowd. I think it's going to be an active day. And, again, the weather's got a lot to do with that.
Yes.
People are in a good mood, and it's springtime, so I suspect there will be a lot of people out.
All right, so that's where we began. John Calipari still obviously the one thing I think everyone's still discussing, still talking about. What's next? Do we start hearing soon about players joining this roster? What do you think is the next thing? He didn't really have time. He talked about catching your breath. He really didn't have time to catch his breath. He has no players. He kind of joked about that, but the reality is that's, I guess, the next thing we're all collectively looking for.
Well, yesterday I know he went to Los Angeles. He received an award out there from the John Wooden Award. It was a Legacy of Coaching Award, and he was out there for that. I'm quite certain now that there's a lot of stuff that is going on in terms of phone calls. I think there's probably, for us, gosh, what's going to happen? There's no team. Who's he going to get? Well, I think for him, he's got a plan. And I think that plan's probably already in place. And I don't read a lot of the recruiting stuff, but from what I gather, there's if you look closely, there's some guys out there that might fit the bill.
Yeah, and there's stuff floating around about some of the guys he had committed to him at Kentucky that are making the move soon and or reported to. So that'll be fun to kind of watch unfold. And I think that's what we're all betting on. We're all betting on these things to start lining up in order to, make next season what everybody, I think, dreams it could be.
Well, here's the thing you got to remember. All these kids out there are still in school. There's still the spring semester going on. So whether it's kids that are in the portal from Arkansas or kids that are in the portal from other places, there's a lot of time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And while we are impatient as fans, they are not impatient because there's no reason for them to be. And I'm talking about the players that are out there being recruited right now.
And he's not doing that by himself. I mean, I know we haven't announced a staff, but I can't imagine he's working alone on that.
Well, I just have to, and I've said this more than once, I think we're going to have to change the way we think in terms of our head coach's ability to put a roster together. This is not the first time he's done this. He does this every year.
Yeah.
He does this every year. The difference now, and I do think you'll see him modify his model, and I've talked about this. I think you'll see him perhaps get some, more of a mix of older and younger players. But this guy's the master of putting a roster together in a short amount of time. And just as I don't think he's going to stop signing 5-stars because he's not at Kentucky anymore, I don't think that part's going to change either.
Yeah. Well, you said something yesterday I want to dive into deeper at some point, and that's about the personalities in sports, because we're getting ready to go on a ride here with maybe the largest personality perhaps Arkansas sports has ever seen. And we were talking about the personalities in women's basketball and how that has drawn people to the TV in ways to watch women's basketball and women's sports we've never seen before. One of the largest figures, love him, hate him, and I think a lot of people have mixed emotions about O.J. Simpson, one of the largest figures. I want to get into personalities because that's clearly what drives all of us to the screen. And I think we could have a good conversation about that this morning. Personalities like Tiger Woods. We were all drawn to the screen yesterday, so we'll get to that. All of our Razorback basketball coverage this week and beyond is presented by Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com. And by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Live better, look better, love better. Visit maverickmalemedical.com. And by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings in Northwest Arkansas. You can apply today online at jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, 97.1 in Camden and South Arkansas, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and bounce house for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
This is the Morning Rush.
And he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Fort Smith's largest used car sale ever. Now through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 500 vehicles to choose from. Cars as low as $49.95. Bring your trade-in. Multiple appraisers are on site. Over 30 banks on hand to get you financed. No payments for 90 days. Sales tax paid. And enter to win a new four-wheeler during the inventory liquidation event. Now through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Get ready for an adrenaline-packed weekend as the University of Arkansas Fort Smith baseball team hits Crowder Field on the UAFS campus April 12th through the 14th. The Lions host Cameron University in an epic 4-game homestand. Kick off the excitement with the annual Teal Tailgate starting at noon on Friday, followed by first pitches at 1 o'clock daily and doubleheader action on Saturday. Admission is free. Visit UAFSLions.com for more details and run to the roar with your UAFS Lions.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. Save $90 on the DeWalt 20-volt max trimmer and blower kit. Only $199 with your Ace Rewards card. Triazicide 10-pound granules, ready to spray or concentrate is $7.99 with Ace Rewards. And buy batteries and chargers and get the tool free on select DeWalt, Milwaukee, and Craftsman power tools. Find us online at YeagersHardware.com.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out. Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
The Steel Horse Rally is coming to town May 3rd and 4th. Get ready for it with Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith. Need a new or pre-owned motorcycle to show off on Garrison Avenue at the rally? Need to get new tires or repairs done so you can join the poker run or parade? Need new riding gear? We've been serving the motorcycle community in the Fort Smith area for 57 years and are the 9th oldest Kawasaki dealer in the nation. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Tommy Tychek, thank you guys for your support, and go Hogs.
3:27. McLaughlin put a charge in the 3-1 pitch. Straight away center field and out of here, right over the 400-foot side.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Well, it's a tie-free Friday here on the Morning Rush. Tommy Kraft, Chuck Barrett. We're at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. We are literally the only people in the building.
Yes,
we
are.
The run of the place. I mean, I could get you could just walk out of here with all of the plumbing hoses you could ever need for your RV. Right now, nobody would know, Chuck.
I want to go outside, get one of these RVs, have a little joyride around the parking lot before these guys get in. That'd be fun.
They're going to have the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party. It begins this weekend, 9 to 5 tomorrow, then 9 to 3 on Sunday. It's going to be at the it's right behind Nukes and Rogers. You might probably know where that's at. Whitaker Parkway, Pauline Whitaker Parkway. They're going to have everything you need right there on site. All the big brands like Grand Design, Jayco, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, Winnebago, it goes on and on. On-site financing, a variety of vendors, bounce houses for the kids, and most importantly, food trucks. So there's going to be good food on site, free parking, prizes, and a lot more, all coming up at the NWA RV show and outdoor party. We'll be telling you more about it. Chris and Lee J will be in there in a little bit because they're saying they don't get up at an ungodly hour like we do. And we'll be along the way here in just a little bit. A lot to get to this morning. We are also brought to you by our friends at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Happy hour twice a day, 3 to 6 and then 9 to close. They'll have the Arkansas game on tonight. They'll have, all the big sporting events anytime they're happening on, and you can catch it at TGI Fridays. Mondays are 50-cent wings, so don't miss out on that. TGI Fridays, happy hour twice daily, 540 in Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Wonder what the attitude is this morning in the Bluegrass State. I wonder how Kentucky fans are feeling this morning. They might have a little feel of rejection and regret.
That didn't go quite the way they thought it was going to go. And other guys have good jobs. And Kentucky's the best job in our league, and one could argue, top 4 or 5 jobs in college basketball, period. A blue blood. But other guys have good jobs. And, Scott Drew, for example, he's got a good job. He's a millionaire. Why would he turn his life upside down just for the thrill? Same for Dan Hurley. Same for some of these other guys. Billy Donovan's coaching in the NBA. He doesn't have to recruit. I would imagine that, Kentucky found when they got out there that it's not as simple, and we found this out on a different level, but we found this out at times in different sports that it's not as easy to go out there and just even, pay somebody more than he's making right now and have him come to you. It just doesn't always work that way. Now, let me say this. Mark Pope is a good coach. He's being put in a very, very unfair situation. But he is a good coach. I remember when he was a player, he coaches like he played. And Brigham Young's been a good program, and he did a good job there. And he did a good job at, I think it was Utah. Was it Utah Valley? One of those smaller programs out there. They're getting a good basketball coach, and they're getting a guy that loves that university. But, they're not getting the type guy Calipari is, and they're not getting the type guy Patino is. And I don't even know that they're getting the type guy Tubby Smith was, when he took that job.
But he's not as seasoned as
but he is a good coach, and he has done a good job at Brigham Young. And he does understand what's expected there. There's not going to be any situation he gets into where he thinks, well, I wonder what they want me to do. He's lived it, so there are not going to be any surprises.
And he's one of theirs, obviously. Player I think a name many of us would remember. But man, you talk about walking into a situation, because you're exactly right. They expected a name equal to Calipari, and there's just none.
They could have hired Patino. I really am surprised there was not at least a little rumbling about that. I didn't expect it to happen, but I'm at least a little surprised that, nobody said, well, hey, man, what about Patino?
How great would that have been just for the
drama? He still got it.
Just for the drama.
He's moving a little slower than he once did, but it's not like he can't coach. And it's not like people won't pick up the phone when somebody says Rick Pitino's on the line.
Yeah, and can you imagine the drama the first time Arkansas and Kentucky would play?
It's going to be pretty dramatic as it is.
Yeah, but can you imagine that next level drama it would be if he indeed became the coach? But, yeah, I think probably the rest of the basketball world is enjoying watching Kentucky kind of waver in the wind out there, kind of being hung out to dry a little bit.
Well, and they're going to be he's going to be in that spot, just like Muss was in that, or is in that spot at USC. They're all in that spot. Every new coach has to come in and rebuild the roster. We talk about our situation here like it's unique. It's not. It's this way everywhere. It's why we talked about before the season ended. There are going to be a lot of coaching changes. Every time a coach leaves, you got 10 new guys in the transfer portal. That's how it works now. Nobody walks into a situation with 7 or 8 guys going, hey, come coach me. those days are over.
Yeah. What are your thoughts this morning? Are you reveling a little bit in Kentucky's demise? You can call or text us on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Red-white game tomorrow. We're going to have it right here on the radio for you. 11:30 from the stadium for a shorter pregame version than I think we're used to with the hour and a half. So 30 minutes, and then game broadcast should last, less than 2 hours or so?
It'll be over by 2 o'clock. But now this is going to be a real game. I'm not saying it's going to be, everything's going to be evenly distributed. I'm not saying it's like that. It's going to be, the best against the rest for the most part. But in the first half, it's going to be like a real game. Clock stoppages, real game. Second half, you're probably not going to see as many. In fact, you may not see any of the ones in the second half. But they'll keep the clock rolling then for the most part. There will be obviously television breaks. And the last 2 minutes, they'll stop the clock, which may make for an interesting finish because they're going to go into 2 minute right at the end of the scrimmage, and they're going to have the clock moving and the refs out there just like it's a normal game. And so, hey, we'll see if Petrino can still put some points on the board in 2 minutes. I'll bet he can.
It'd be a lot of our first look at Green at quarterback. What are you expecting there?
I expect a great athlete. I expect a guy who can do all the things they want him to do. This is a guy that, as Coach Petrino said, Coach Bedman said, go find you a quarterback. So this is the one he picked. And I can guarantee you didn't pick him without fully believing that he could do everything he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I expect him to be an exciting player.
Hey, this weekend's going to be a busy one. There's only a few weekends left at Oakland. The Apple Blossom Handicap is tomorrow, part of a 12-race card. We'll talk to Lang Whitman later in the show and get some picks for the weekend. If you haven't downloaded the Oakland Anywhere app, you can do that on your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Use the promo code RUSH24. If you're a first-time member, you get a $150 sign-up bonus, and be ready for the Apple Blossom Handicap tomorrow at Oakland. Hey, we're live at Wheels RV. Come by and see us this morning, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. We're getting ready for the NWA RV outdoor show or show and outdoor party tomorrow in Rogers. More details coming up. Clay Henry talked with Warren Stevens about the coaching search. We'll detail next.
Shop local, eat local, be local. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newts. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and bounce house for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
TaxAct knows you don't look forward to taxes. TaxAct doesn't even look forward to taxes, and TaxAct is a tax software company. It's basically TaxAct's whole thing. If TaxAct did things over, maybe TaxAct would end up teaching kindergarten or leading fly fishing tours. But that's a different story for a different ad. So why don't we just agree that taxes aren't fun, but you still have to do them? TaxAct's filing software can help you do that. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
This is The Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorback! The largest used car sales event in Fort Smith history. The inventory liquidation event at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. 7 days only. Harry Robinson has over 500 vehicles deeply discounted. State sales tax paid on every used car. No payments for 90 days. Plus, bring your trade because nobody pays more than Harry Robinson. The inventory liquidation event. Extended hours through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas, located at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and 416 North 10th Street in Fort Smith. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at precisiondoornwa.com. Financing is available. Precision Overhead Door voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Precision Overhead Door.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, gents. I listen to you guys a lot. It's still the same good show it's always been. I appreciate it.
Here's the set and the 2-2. Fisher strikes out swinging, and Gagewood strikes out the side to finish it. This one belongs to the Razorbacks by an 8-3 score.
Do you want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, even Ruskin and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
Morning Rush live this morning at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Chuck and Tommy here. Wheels RV getting ready for a big weekend. They're going to be at in Rogers. They're moving operations over there for a day or two for the NWA RV show and outdoor party. They've teamed up with Moix RV for a large RV show. They'll have on-site financing, food trucks, bounce houses for the kids. A lot of fun, and you can get the best deal at the RV show this weekend. It's going to be on West Pauline Whitaker Boulevard, right behind Nukes. So, I mean, just look for the place that looks out of sorts with all these RVs. You come out here, the lot's about, I don't know, 2/3 empty right now because they've moved a bunch of that inventory over. So they got a huge selection. So it's going to be a big weekend in Rogers. They'll still have some units here. You can still stop in at Wheels, but the absolute best deals are going to be up in Rogers tomorrow and Sunday. Starts at 9 each day, ends at 5 on Saturday, and 3 o'clock on Sunday. And you can come by and see us here just in Tawny Town this morning. Come by and see us here at Wheels RV. Hey, with over a century of proven performance, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has been your reliable partner, providing the financial assistance your farm or ranch needs to stay up and running. Visit myaglender.com or visit one of their 26 locations near you for the financial lending support you need from sunrise to sunset. Hey, if you haven't been to hitthatline.com, go there, click on Clay's columns. You'll see the latest offering from our man Clay Henry, who's going to stop in for a visit in the third hour of the show. Has a really interesting behind-the-scenes look, Chuck, at all of this search, but not just talking to Hunter Yurachek. He didn't talk to Hunter Yurachek. He talked to Warren Stevens, and he talked to John Tyson. He's also got some thoughts from Dane Bradshaw and John Calipari. I thought the most interesting part of it for me, and something I don't think a lot of our audience would have known, I didn't know it till Clay told me about it, was he was getting ready to write his column, and he detailed it in there, is that Warren Stevens and some of the senior executives, some of the leadership at Stevens Inc. had put together a retention package above and beyond anything the university had with Eric Musselman. I don't know how many dollars were in there, but I would imagine it was a few and likely had a couple of commas in it if he had stayed to a certain point. I think it was 7 years or something along that line. He walked away from whatever money was in that kitty to get out of here. But sure, it sure looks from the outside looking in, he wanted out of here awfully bad to walk away from a big pot of gold at the end of the Razorback Rainbow.
Well, yes and no. First off, I don't think that's that uncommon. I think that's probably done for all of, I think it's been done for head coaches here before. I'll just put it that way. I don't know what that figure is, but whatever it is, he's getting that money, he'll get that money at USC. He'll have probably a similar type retention structure there. And beyond that, I'm not surprised by that. I will say this from us. He's not a guy that's motivated by money. He's not a greedy guy. I just put it that way in terms of money. He's not going to hang on doing something that he doesn't want to do anymore because there's that, pot of gold there, as you say. All these guys, they live in a different hemisphere than we do. They just do. It would not be unreasonable for you, for example, if there was something in your life you really did not want to do. The difference was $100,000. Now that might not be enough to tip the scales. These guys play in a different stratosphere. A couple of $1 million to them is like maybe $100,000 to you and me.
Yeah.
It's not enough to keep you somewhere. It is interesting, but I don't think that it's uncommon. And all things like this is just, you do what you can to try to keep a good one. It's kind of like Coach Broyles used to say, whatever you pay a good one's not enough. Whatever you pay a bad one's too much. And when you've got a good one, you do things privately to entice them to stay. But again, with most of these guys, particularly guys who are already into their second and third contracts, like the guys we're dealing, the guys we're talking about are, they've had the big payday. They've gotten life-changing money before. So I don't know that it's as motivating for everybody as you might think. Hey, for guys like you and me, hang on for an extra 2 years. You got $2 or $3 million out there when it's over. I'm going to be here. But for somebody who's already there, I don't know that it's that big a motivator.
Just trying to figure out how to retire without insurance, right? I think that's a lot of people's. That's a lot of people's worry these days. I thought it was also interesting, and again, Clay's going to be here. He was the one that got the insight from not only Warren Stevens directly, but also John Tyson. And I thought there was a good outline and a good good layout from Clay and his thoughts. Again, you can read all of this. It's a long read, but it's worth it at hitthatline.com.
You paying him by the word?
No, because I couldn't afford him by the word.
My
He
God.
called.
I had to take a lunch break the other day.
Yeah, he called and said, hey, it's a little over 3,000 words. Is that too long? Now, can you imagine if I actually started critiquing Clay's work? Boy, he would really.
He'd be ready to fight.
Yeah, it'd be go south in a hurry. But it's really a great read about how Warren Stevens and John Tyson really, join hands, if you will, in this John Calipari situation and really help bring this to the finish line.
I know that, and I read part of it. I'm not to the end yet.
You'll get there next week.
Clay really does have and has always had, in terms of, what you read and what you hear, has had more insight in terms of the Stevens family and their inner workings within the Razorbacks than probably anybody out there. Well, certainly anybody out there.
I don't think it's close.
It goes back, obviously, to, Orville Henry's relationship with I guess, Whit Stevens and Jack Stevens. And so I'm sure if Clay's got it in there and it involves the Stevens family, it's exactly correct.
Well, they're direct quotes from Warren. I mean, think about this. What do you think Warren Stevens is and has been for a few days? Augusta National.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
There's very few people, and Clay's one of them, that can get a return phone call or a return text. And I know in this case,
they got a nice cabin down there.
Yeah, I asked when we were going. I said Chuck and I could be down there. Send the jet. We're willing to go. So
did they tell you that we already have the people that are serving the drinks that night? We've already hired them. There's no reason for you guys to come.
Well, they said we could mow their yard, and then when we're done, stop by the yacht club.
Yeah.
So
mow that yard.
Yeah, mow that yard too at the yacht club. But if you haven't checked it out, go to hitthatline.com. Clay's going to be with us in the third hour. I have not yet. I was chit-chatting, changed some text, talked to him the other day to Bo Banning, who has had a very busy couple of days. He did a hog pod with Coach Cal.
Really good.
And did one yesterday that's going to be up with Hunter Yurachek. And he sent some clips, but I guess I'm not smart enough how to make it work in Google Drive.
Turn it over to Big C, man.
Yeah, I gave it to Big C. We got to get some permissions or something.
Turn it over to the kids.
It's probably me and Bo have screwed it up, or trying to figure out how to make this work. But some really interesting context coming about the search and some of the things that were true that were out there and some of the things that weren't true. And I think the more we can learn about these coaching searches and how they actually unfold versus how we think the soap opera plays out on Twitter, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting story that Bo's going to help Hunter Yurachek tell.
I think the most misapplied word in all of these coaching searches is offer. It's like if you talk to someone, well, God, he's offered him.
No.
Or what do you think about this? Well, I'm pretty happy where I am. Oh, he turned him down. He turned him down. We've been turned down. It amazes me. And, I don't want to go on a rant right here.
Oh, do. Please
do.
Well,
I hear, and look, I'm a media guy too. And I'm not saying, Lord knows I've made 1,000,001 mistakes over my time. But I hear all these guys that speak with all these these lofty terms about journalism and accuracy and all this stuff. And they use the word offer and the words been offered and the words turned down an offer like the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's held accountable for that. I never believe these stories when they say somebody's been offered because I know how it works. There's not an offer until you know he's going to say yes. It's like getting down on a knee with a television camera at an arena on you and proposing to the girl sitting next to you.
You better know the
be
answer.
Darn sure she's going to say
answer.
yes.
Yeah, you better know that answer.
And so some of this stuff is just ridiculous. And I read it and I see that word and I see the way it's applied. It just makes my skin crawl. And look, I know these guys listen to the radio or watch television, and guys say things that make their skin crawl too, and I get it. We've all got our pet peeves, but that's mine. Apply some standards.
Yeah.
Apply some standards before you start talking about things like that, because 9 times out of 10, at the very least, what you're saying is going to be embellished, and half the time it's going to be wrong.
How many how many offers do you think actually went out?
One.
In this whole search?
One.
And it was
to the guy who took it. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't get right to the brink.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're not right there. But, no, I think one guy was offered.
So, I mean, just think about it in any of our normal lives. I mean, if you're the person that's ever hired someone for a position, did you interview multiple people? Did you have different candidates? How wide a net did you cast for a job? Did you offer everyone involved in that search the job? I mean, we assume everyone you have an interview with is a qualified candidate that the AD wants to hire. It's not true in our everyday lives. So why would it be true in Hunter Yurachek or any other AD's lives?
I think the misconception is that every athletic director zeroes in on one guy. You know, I want so-and-so to be my head coach. Here we go. You know, I mean, anybody out there like, hey, we're in an RV place right now. Let's say that the time comes when Wheels RV, I mean, you got to sell one RV today or the business closes. You know, you got to sell one RV today or the business closes. You're not going to just call one guy. You're going to call everybody you know.
Yeah.
And this idea that athletic directors or anybody that's on a job search, any committee, any headhunting firm, the idea that you just go all in on one guy and ignore everybody else, because look, you may have a meeting with somebody that you really want. You may know 15 minutes into that conversation, this is not going to work. You don't have to offer the job. He doesn't have to turn it down. It's just obvious that it's not going to work. But the idea that, you know, hey, we're all in on Chris Beard, just to pull a name out of the air. We're all in on Chris Beard. Well, Chris Beard says, no, we got to just go all in on the next guy. That's not how this thing works.
All right, the McLarty Daniel hotline is open this morning, 877-377-6963. Let's start up the road and grab it. Not far from where we're at. Chris is on the line. Chris, welcome into the Morning Rush.
Morning, fellas. How are you?
We're good, Chris.
Well, good deal. I'm with you, Chuck, on the I don't know why everybody's got to believe everything that's reported. I've been scrolling through Twitter like crazy since Musk took the other job, and just, you see all of this stuff and you see all this nastiness because of misreporting, and then everybody just jumps right on board with it. And I'm of the mindset, let's just let Hunter do his job and trust the guy to do what needs to be done. I mean, for heaven's sakes, he's the one that brought in Musk, and Musk wasn't the first name that was rumored either. We went through a list of names, and then when Musk was announced, it was kind of like, okay, well, I guess we'll see what the guy from Nevada can do, but I don't know. And then all he did was go to 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16. So, I was of the mindset, let's pump the brakes and see what happens. Now, did I think Calipari was coming? Absolutely not. I was there Wednesday. I was there Wednesday, guys, and I still can't even believe it. And so that brings me to what I wanted to ask.
Had to see it
Chuck.
for yourself, huh?
Yeah. And I don't think I've heard anybody ask Chuck this, and I'm curious. How much fun did you have Wednesday night? I mean, I know everybody there had fun. I know Cal looked like he was having a good time. But what was it like from your perspective?
Oh, it was, first off, always,
thanks for the call, Chris.
Thank you. As always, it was a privilege to be there. I mean, man, I've had a ringside seat I feel like Forrest Gump in there sometimes. So that part was cool. And I enjoyed meeting him very much, and his family, and just really impressive people. Hey, I was one of those who was flipped. I mean, I got flipped too. I mean, he turned me around pretty quick. He's really, really an engaging guy. One thing about he brought up too before that about, the misinformation out there. You got to remember, every coach has an agent, a lawyer, a wife, a best friend, a brother-in-law. I mean, every one of them out there's got people, so to speak. And I think a lot of this stuff that goes out there is agent-driven. There's an ulterior motive, I guess, for a lot of these reports out there. If you represent a coach and you represent a multitude of coaches, and some of your coaches know you represent this guy, and all of a sudden there's a report that he's turned down the job. Well, the first thing you think was, well, hey, my agent must have gotten him some money. Maybe I need to go out and get a job offer. And so there are a lot of games being played, and it's but that word offer is the most misapplied term out there. Again, you don't offer. You don't say, will you be my coach? Will you be my wife? Will you marry me? You don't ask those questions until you know the answer.
Brent is in Searcy on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Brent, good morning.
Good morning, Tommy and Chuck. Where is the young Kyle Richardson this morning?
The Golden Boy is in Montana, and he has taken one of Clay Henry's fly rods with him. And I'll be interested to see if it makes it back and in how many pieces.
I can assure you Clay did not give him a good fly rod.
No,
I can assure you.
It will be a fun story. It will be a fun story if Ty doesn't make it back with the fly rod.
What's up, Brent?
What's going on, Chuck?
How are you?
I'm just now getting over the euphoria of the last 2 days. I'm telling you, I'm headed up to the fish fry tonight and the Letterman's fish fry and the spring game and to Dean Weber's celebration of life on tomorrow.
Right, tomorrow.
So it's really big game. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I get to see you there up there, Chuck.
I'll be there
forever.
I'll be there. I'll see you while you're here.
Hey, I want to get together with you sometime and take you to lunch. We hadn't done lunch in a while.
Okay.
It's always free. But
that sounds good.
You get to pick where you want to go.
That's right.
That's right. But how is this now? Is the dead period for basketball? Is it over now?
Yes, the portal opened on the 11th yesterday, and I believe it's through May 1st.
So we're hitting we're dialing 1-800 come be a Razorback right now, right?
Well, there's probably some calling, a little selecting, a little bit of everything going on right now.
I meant that, and we're targeting who we want, correct?
I think that'd be fair to say. Yeah, I mean, look, and again, this is not the first time he's done this. And now it may be the first time he's done it with this kind of cash at his disposal. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I think Kentucky's probably paid their guys, in terms of the NIL stuff. I think they've done pretty well there. So I don't think there's anything at all for anyone to be concerned about here. I really don't.
Well, did I hear right? Kentucky's hired Mark Pope.
Sounds like that's what's going to happen today. Yes,
headed that direction.
Well, I mean, he did a great job at BYU, but replacing a Hall of Famer with number 50 from the University of Kentucky, I believe that was his number. Wasn't that correct?
I don't recall. I remember when he played. I didn't know about the 50 part.
Okay. Well, y'all have a great day. And how about this baseball series starting tonight, Chuck, against Alabama? What do you think?
Okay. I think it's a big series. And I think that Alabama got off to a pretty good start. They've not played great lately. It's different on the road. I mean, it's different on the road, but this team's really good. I mean, they're really good, and I'd be surprised if they don't go down there and play well. You want to get off to a good start tonight. I noticed Kentucky beat Auburn last night, so Kentucky's 12-1 now in conference play, and you still think about the overall championship too.
Did you see the Georgia-Missouri score? 15-10.
15-10.
Wow,
yeah. Sounds like they duked it out.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go to a break, let me talk to you about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you are buying or selling a home, I want to recommend my partners to you. And they've been my partners more than once, first as a buyer and then as a seller, and then we did it all over again. And none of the times, frankly, I didn't really know exactly what was going on, just to be honest. Maybe I thought I did. They did, fortunately. And right now, more than ever, you need someone who understands the real estate game, someone who listens to you, someone who can get you from contract to close. That was my experience at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, and I think it'll be yours as well. They've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington County. They're in Benton County, Fort Smith, Branson, and you can always log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
I'm just going to apologize now if I get a little distracted. The Masters has resumed first round. Tiger is on the tee, and they are back underway. He's got quite a test today. He's got to finish out this round, starting on the 14th hole, and then 18 more, so a 23-hole test. He's hitting the ball awfully well. He's 1 under par. Got to get a few more birdies, but Tiger, I'm not saying he's going to win the tournament, but I think he's going to make the cut, and I don't know, it'll be interesting to see if he can be a factor.
Draw a basketball analogy. It's the first 5 minutes of the second half, and he's got to come out fast this morning. I mean, he's got, 5 holes left in his opening round. He's 1 under. He has played well. He's not scored well.
Yes.
But he needs to make a little push.
I don't know how much of the coverage you watched yesterday, but the wind.
I watched Tiger. Yeah,
brutal.
It was windy. It was windy.
And my brother, who's at Augusta right now and was on the course yesterday, said the predictions are it's going to be even worse today as far as gusts and wind speeds.
Well, I think the wind we had here yesterday, which was significant, is down there today.
Yeah.
That's kind of how the fronts work. So, yeah, they'll have another windy day today.
So we'll keep an eye on that. Bryson DeChambeau is on top of the leaderboard, but he's already in and has concluded his first round at 7 under par. Scotty Scheffler, the world's number one, a guy that just doesn't seem to miss. My brother said if he could only putt, I'm like, he made 6 birdies, dude. He's like, yeah, but he could have made 10
if he could only.
He could only putt. Yeah, world's number one. He's 6 under par and 1 off the pace. We'll keep an eye on things, and if Tiger does anything extraordinary, if in particular, we will talk about that. Next hour coming up here on the way. We're brought to you by the famous Yum Dinger. Hey, the bass are going to be spawning soon on area lakes and the rivers. It's time to get out there. 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes of the famous Yum Dinger is available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores everywhere. You got to have it in your boat. You got to have it in your tackle box. Those bass are going to be spawning soon. It's all brought to you by Pradco. They make them by the truckloads, the Yum Dinger, in their Arkansas plant. All right, Clay Henry's going to join us in hour 3. Scott Tabor coming up in about 25 minutes. More on the red-white game. And O.J. Simpson died yesterday. We'll talk about it all next. In hour 2, live from Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 on 549 in Springdale.
Summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and red.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line podcast network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sockeye.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
Kentucky's the bluest of blue. There's only a few schools like that, and Arkansas is one of them.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McCarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
Hey there, how you doing? Welcome in, hour 2 of the Morning Rush. We're on the road here on a Friday. Big weekend coming up. Red-white game's going to be at the stadium tomorrow noon. We got baseball starting tonight with Arkansas down at Alabama. And still talking about Coach Calipari, all here on the Morning Rush. I'm Tommy Kraft. Chuck Barrett's here with me. We're at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale, getting ready for the weekend. They're getting ready for their big NWA RV show and outdoor party. It's going to be in Rogers tomorrow beginning at 9 a.m. It's going to run all the way till 5, and again on Sunday. They're going to have everything for you and the family to have a great time, stuff for the kids like bounce houses, things for guys like me and you. They're going to have food trucks. That's got me hooked in.
Comfortable chair and a food truck. I'm good to go.
Yep. Then we can check out the full lineup of all the RVs, on-site financing, so you can leave right there with your new RV. Come by and see us this morning. We got the gates open. We got the coffee pot on, and we'd love to see you here at Wheels RV. And Lee J and Chris kind enough to have us out here in front of their big show tomorrow in Rogers. Just after we got off the air, we're going to get back to Razorback basketball. We're going to talk about the red-white game, but I want to just take a detour for a minute and talk about the news of O.J. Simpson's passing. The report came out just as we left the air yesterday morning that he had died at the age of 76 from prostate cancer. A complicated life, one that you say tragedy from where, probably not a bigger fall from grace that we have ever seen in our society. He was the first to really be a spokesperson as a former athlete in the way that he was. And, you remember him running through the airport and hurdling the luggage for Hertz. He was probably the most sought after personality in all of sports after his playing career ended. And his days are over at the age of 76. Obviously the trial and the acquittal on the murder charge, it changed so many things about the way media works, the way things are covered. I mean, there's just so many. We could spend 3 hours on OJ, but what were your thoughts when you heard he had passed at 76?
Oh, I remember OJ as a player, and he was great. I remember the 2,000-yard season. I remember all that, but I don't remember it like the other stuff. I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but I'm not going to lose a second sleep over it.
95 million people watch the Bronco chase. We've been reminded that over the last 24 hours. They broke in and interrupted coverage of the NBA Finals. And this was all pre-social media. This was all before you'd get an alert on your phone. We didn't have phones in our pockets in 1994. 95 million, then over 100 million people watched the verdict, and it happened in the middle of the day. Personalities can be good and bad, and he wore both hats in his lifetime. This would be, and I think about this, if Ty were here with us today, he never lived through any of the O.J. Simpson stuff with any reckoning on that. He's read about it, heard about it, but anyone under the age of 30 or 35 perhaps doesn't really understand what we both experienced in the mid-90s with OJ, and really what most people know his life to have become. And then obviously acquitted, charged with theft and kidnapping, and went to prison in Nevada for 10 years. But you may know about those things, but it's hard to imagine how he could gravitate a Super Bowl-size audience to watch his every move back at that moment.
It's been interesting for me the last 24 hours, I guess, to hear the media people talk about OJ's passing as though it's some milestone. and it's not. It's not a milestone. We remember and we recall the fascination and the point in history, but my overwhelming sense the last 24 hours when I heard about this is, hey, man, karma's the real deal, man.
Yeah.
I mean, karma's the real deal. And that's my thought on it. I don't think about that other stuff anymore when I think about OJ. In my mind, he forfeited all that. And I'm not standing in judgment. I'm not the one to judge. He's dealing with that right now. But I will never remember OJ the football player. That's completely out of my memory. Yeah. I just remember the and look, I'm over it, but I can remember the outrage when the acquittal was announced.
So you think the jury got it wrong?
Well, gosh, yes.
I think he did it, but I don't think that. I thought that the prosecution's case was terrible.
Well, I mean, I'm not a court TV analyst. I'm not going back to get into that. But I mean, anybody with a brain knows what happened.
Yeah. So O.J. Simpson dead at the age of 76. I don't know that many other than his family will, like you say, mourn, but we'll all remember.
He was a great football player.
Yeah. Just an interesting life. I it's hard to
well,
really
he
put the right
became part of
adjectives.
Americana and it's terrible that a double murder became part of American folklore, so to speak. But it did, and part of that was because it was the first time that we'd watched a trial like that. It's the first time I think many of us realized that court trials are more about theatrics sometimes than guilt or innocence. And I think for many of us, we discovered that what we see on television isn't real life. And
it was the beginning of reality TV.
That would be the extent of my analysis on the passing of OJ.
I just think it changed American media, American culture. It was the first real reality show we had on TV.
Well, there are a lot of interesting ramifications from all of that, but 2 people were murdered, and nobody was ever held accountable for that. So that's what I remember.
I was hoping he'd say on his death.
No, he wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to do that. But he's dealing with all that today.
He's standing before the good Lord and answering for that. All right, we'll move on from OJ and get into the Masters, which has resumed this morning. I want to deep dive into the red
Tiger
white.
bogeyed the first hole he played, by the way.
Bad chip. Left it short and ran it like me and you, ran his chip by about 20 feet.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 putt for a 5. So we'll get into that, plus Razorback baseball here in just a minute. We'll discuss that with Scott Tabor. Hogs are 11-1. They're now a half game behind Kentucky as far as best record after Kentucky moved ahead of Auburn last night, 6-5. So all that coming up here, plus more coverage and discussion, if you will, on John Calipari, his hiring, and a construction of a championship, hopefully, at Arkansas. It's all brought to you by Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. Also by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Go to maverickmalemedical.com. We're live this morning at Wheels RV, right on 412, west of Springdale. If you get off I-49, go west, go about 5 miles. Chuck and I are out here. We'll buy you a cup of coffee this morning. Say hi. We're getting ready for the Northwest Arkansas RV Show and Outdoor Party in Rogers this weekend, hosted by Wheels RV. Your chance to get the absolute best deal this weekend on a brand new RV. All right, more from Wheels RV on the Morning Rush coming up next.
Do you want to listen to your favorite Hit That Line podcast? We've got you covered. Just click on the podcast tab at the top of hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and bounce house for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th. 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas! The inventory liquidation event now through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Harry Robinson has over 500 vehicles deeply discounted. Multiple lenders and appraisers are on site. Harry will get you financed. Cars as low as $49.95. No payments for 90 days. State sales tax paid. And win a new four-wheeler. The inventory liquidation event. Now through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep West Ark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
West Ark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Diamond Center is proud to present our inaugural Whiskey and Watches event. Now is your chance to get your hands on that timeless timepiece you've been dreaming of. Between now and Thursday, April 25th, in our Fort Smith store, call or stop by to pre-order your watch. Then join us on Thursday, April 25th for a night of celebration featuring rare whiskeys, cigars, and luxury watches. This is your opportunity to add that watch that you've always had an eye on to your collection. For more information or to pre-order your watch today, give us a call. The Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and bounce house for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th. 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Get ready for an adrenaline-packed weekend as the University of Arkansas Fort Smith baseball team hits Crowder Field on the UAFS campus April 12th through the 14th. The Lions host Cameron University in an epic 4-game homestand. Kick off the excitement with the annual Teal Tailgate starting at noon on Friday, followed by first pitches at 1 o'clock daily and doubleheader action on Saturday. Admission is free. Visit UAFSLions.com for more details and run to the roar with your UAFS Lions.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Back at Will's RV, Morning Rush. Time for our Morning Rush Daily Question. You know, so many different directions you can go. I think we're all trying to settle into what we expect. But when you pay over $7 million a year, when you include the sign-on bonus and the retention bonuses and everything that John Calipari is going to receive, over $7.5 million a year, what do you expect for $7+ million a year?
Oh, just the world. I mean, I think that people are going to expect a lot. Now, you know, Razorback fans, those who donate, they're going to be called upon. They're going to be called upon more than ever before. And, you know, when Calipari was at Kentucky. Just, on a personal note, my dad lived in Lexington for the final 15 years of his life. He passed away almost 10 years ago now, but 8 years, I guess. But he lived in Lexington. And so I spent some time in Lexington, in the off season, times like that, I would go up there. And, I can tell you the people in Lexington, the average person, not the rabid necessarily Kentucky fan, but the average Joe out there, whenever they lost, the money came up. I mean, the money came up.
And it always does.
And came up first. Whenever he was on television, the money came up first. I can hear my dad grousing about it right now. So it's going to come up. I mean, that's how it is. But I can tell you this, and I say this with 100% certainty. That conversation is just going to be between us because he's immune from all that.
Yeah.
And as I said the other day, there's nothing we're going to say. There's nothing we're going to do. There's no situation that's going to come up here before it's going to face him. He has lived in the glare for 25 or 30 years. John Chaney wanted to kill him one time at a press conference. I mean, he understands the spotlight. So I just think that we're gonna be along for the ride, and I think it's going to be a heck of a ride.
Yeah. Is it reasonable to think that in the next 2 to 3 seasons you should be in real, more solid conversation for a Final Four than what Arkansas has been under Muss?
I think the climate now in college basketball, I think 2 or 3 years is the old model.
Yeah.
That's if you got to sign a guy or two, sign some high school guys that aren't one and dones, develop them into a team. That's not been his MO. Now, maybe, but I doubt it. I think the expectation, and I think this is Coach Calipari's expectation, is that we win now. I
agree.
In today's climate, with a coach like that, I don't know that year 3 or year 4 is any more advantageous than year 1. The question becomes, you got to change the culture and you got to change the way you do things. And I can tell you from being around it on the periphery, that's the biggest thing. When a coach changes, it's not the new offense. It's not the new in football quarterback and basketball. It's not the new point guard. It's none of that. It matters, but it doesn't matter nearly as much as your team adapting to the way we do things now. Now, that doesn't happen overnight, but it'll happen pretty quickly. But I would expect Arkansas to compete nationally and recruiting and on the floor and in every respect. I would expect that to happen very quickly. I don't think it's going to be year 3.
For $7+ million, I expect a roster that gives you a chance to be at a minimum in the Sweet 16. And if things fall your way, maybe a Final Four. I don't know if all of that happens year 1, but I think by year 3, you should. If you tell me I want a Final Four by the 3rd season, I don't think that's unreasonable.
Well, it's when you really step back, yeah, it is unreasonable. But
why?
Well, because getting to the Final Four involves a lot more than just having a good team. It involves draw, it involves luck, it involves injuries. To say my expectation is a Final Four, that's a mouthful. Hang on. But I don't think it's unreasonable to say this is, we expect to have the type team that if the breaks fall their way, they can get to the Final Four. And if you get to the Final Four, you can win it all. Now, again, I understand that people may expect to get there. I don't really think that, again, it's kind of like that word offer. That word expect and expectations are tossed around very casually without a real understanding of how hard it is to get there. But I'm not naive. I know that people are going to expect to compete for that every year.
There's a difference between expectations and demands. And I think it got to the point where there were demands at Kentucky. I think that's the reason Coach Cal's going to call Northwest Arkansas home now. But, I've had a lot of expectations in my life, come up short. But generally when my dad gave me a demand, he had expectations and he had demands. I can guarantee you the demands got met. Or, so I think there is a difference between expectations and demands. And I don't think our fan base is going to demand a Final Four, but I don't think it's unreasonable to expect one either.
Well, I think you hope for one, and again, you give yourself a chance to get there. You make sure you've got the tight team and the amount of talent that it takes to get there. But we've had really good teams before that got right there and didn't quite get there, and other teams have too. But you expect, I would think, and I don't believe it's unrealistic to expect that you're going to have the type team that can compete to get there. And when you get there, you've got a chance to win the whole thing. But the idea that, a fan base just going to arbitrarily say, hey, man, I expect you to be in the Final Four by year 3. I don't think that expectation is any, I think if your expectation is to go to the Final Four, I don't think you got to wait till year 3 to have that expectation. I think, because you don't build it the way you once did. It's a quicker process.
Last point for me, that our fans expected perhaps a Final Four this past season, and obviously it didn't unfold that way. At least there was a good piece of the fan base talking about that. So,
well, again, expectation and hope. I mean, we're kind of arguing semantics there.
We are.
But I think it's fair to say people thought they'd be a lot better than they were.
All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. Let's talk a little baseball this morning. Time to have Scott Tabor join us now, Arkansas's former Razorback, with us here on the Morning Rush. Scott, good morning.
Good morning. Chuck, how in the world are you even functioning this morning?
Man, I'm good to go.
Good to go. Lots of coffee.
I got a nap in yesterday. I'm ready to rock.
Our visit with Scott is brought to you by Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. We'll tell you more about them coming up. Scott, let me start with the news of the week. Everybody's got a thought. What's your thoughts on John Calipari becoming the new basketball coach at Arkansas?
I feel about John Calipari how LSU would feel if they hired Dave Van Horn. That's my analysis on that. Your expectations and your demands and your expectations would be through the roof because he's coming to a place that he can get a national championship, and I think he says that, and just the same way LSU would feel if they hired Dave Van Horn. He's at the top of the pile. I think it's fantastic, Kyle, for the school and for the basketball team and for the school in general.
I think it's how any fan base would feel if they were able to hire Nick Saban as their football coach.
Yes, exactly.
Scott,
I use baseball.
Before we get into the baseball, as long as we're talking about this, you're over in the Mountain Home area. My sense is the last 48 hours, and I've always thought this, that the Razorbacks lift everyone's mood in every walk of life. I mean, you run an insurance business. I'm going to guess the people that you've talked to the last couple of days, when the Razorbacks come up, their mood elevates.
Sure.
I think everybody in Arkansas is in a good mood right now.
Sure they are. Let me tell you, I've got a brother-in-law who lives in Atlanta, and he just lives and breathes the Razorbacks. Every good thing, every bad thing, the good news, the bad news. And he went from being down in the dumpers, being very critical of everything, to all of a sudden, in one fell swoop, he's happy.
Got new
and all of a sudden, the football team just got better. All the things that are going on there. So it's just, and Sam Pittman is the best coach in America, which I love Sam Pittman. I can't wait to see what happens this year. I'm excited again. I get excited every year. I'm probably the worst fan ever because I'm not a realist. I mean, I drink the Kool-Aid, and I think this is the year. Because, Chuck, you said it a while ago, if you have the facilities and you have the facilities and you have the fan base and there's no reason you can't get to the top of the dump right from here. And then having a coach that comes in known to take teams to the top of the pile, to something that's really, really, really hard to do. There's no reason it can't happen. So I'm excited.
Scott Tabor with us here on the Morning Rush. We're live at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Our visit with Scott brought to you by Alumni Hall. All right, this weekend, Arkansas is on the road. They got a couple of real stiff road tests coming up. Trips to this weekend, obviously, Bama. They got South Carolina on the horizon, got Kentucky down the road. So This is the first of a few big road tests. Tell us about Alabama this weekend, who's 4-8 in league play. Is towards the tail end of the Western Division, and the Hogs have a 3-game lead in the West.
At this point of the season, records don't really matter. Every team has great players. Alabama has some great pitchers and some great hitters, and they're playing at home. The one thing that always gives us a chance every game, and I think we're starting to see that as you get deeper in the season, you have some statistics to look at. You know, our team is not a team that's going to come in and just beat you up with the bat. Our team is a team that's going to come in and they're going to always give you a chance to be in the game. Not just because we have great starters, but because we have the deepest bullpen I have ever seen. And so our hitters know that. They get down early. They don't panic because they know it's not. They get 2 runs in the second inning. Our team knows that may be all they're going to get. All we have to do is keep pecking away, and finally get to the starter, and then get to the bullpen. And if we score 4 or 5 runs, that's generally going to take care of it. And we've seen that time and time again this year. And that's the sign that Van Horn has put together a roster that can win the national championship, because that's what it takes, is having a deep, deep, deep bullpen.
I struggle with trying to figure, we can always talk about the team peaking at the right point in the season. If this team can get dramatically better, it's going to be pretty scary. As solid as they're playing right now. Where do you see areas? We've talked about Brady Taggart and the kind of that third starting spot. Where do you see holes right now as with the trained baseball eye that, hey, if they can bring all of this together, they could go to another level?
Timely hitting. We have a tendency to leave guys on base, and it's generally in the third game of the series. Midweek games, you don't say you relax, because every guy that goes up to the plate, he's not relaxing, going, I don't care if I get a hit or not. These guys are playing for position. These guys are battling every time they get on the field to see if they're going to be able to get on the field on the weekend. Nolan Souza, for example, he has stayed at it. He wasn't getting his opportunities. They knew he was a talent. They didn't know what kind of talent. He's played his way into the lineup, and I don't know how they can take him out. He's just a dangerous, and he plays in the field. I think you could put him anywhere, and he'll be pretty good. The only. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. Let me.
Well, I was just going to say like I said, the timely hitting is really because we have good hitters. We just don't have great hitters. We don't have great powers. We have some guys who can go deep, but not that often. And so I just think the timely hitting's the biggest deal.
Hey, you've played on good teams, and you know what I'm talking about. I mean, guys are loose. Every day's fun. I get the sense that that's kind of where they are right now. How hard is it to keep that? Because, in terms of their play on the field, it seems to me if they can just maintain consistency, do what they're doing right now continuously, they're going to win most of the games they play. But I just wonder, when you're on a good team and it's going well, are you waiting on the balloon to burst? How do you handle that as a player?
Chuck, I think because of the depth that we have, and you're not depending on 1 or 2 or 3 pitchers to carry the load, and one of them gets sick, one of them gets hit around a little bit, somebody's getting played that somebody else thinks they should be playing. All these guys seem to know their role, and they know they can increase their role by performance, which is the way it should be. Everything should be performance-based. So it doesn't look like there's any favorites. And the deeper you get into the season, these kids aren't stupid. They've played on good teams all their life. They've been great ball players their whole life. And they can see, and they do, you're right, they seem like they really, really, really enjoy playing. And I got to experience that in '79, and that was a magical year. We had better talent later on in my career, but up and down the lineup. But we had a lot of fun on and off the field. We hung out together all the time. And so you go to the park and you just play. If we had the depth as this team, I wouldn't get to pitch on this staff. I'm looking at this staff. I've been riding the pine, raking the mound.
Hey, we'd have seen you in the 6th inning for maybe 3 or 4 batters. That'd have been it.
No, you would have seen me in the 8th inning if we're getting shelled. We need to have somebody get out there.
You're selling yourself short.
I'm telling you, I look at these guys, and I've had some new favorites. I love Stone Hewlett, and I love Jake Faraday. I watched Jake Faraday's splitter, which he's just developing and just not getting confidence in it. He has an unhittable pitch, and when he when he can finally garner that, get that ball in the strike zone more, or throw it where they think it's going to be a fastball, and they can't, because it disappears from, and later on you'll get to see it. I just think that at this point of the season, you're worried about injuries and worried about, how we're going to get through the next series, and right now we have guys coming back. We have guys getting better during the season, and that's what you need for a championship run. So if things fall right, if we're lucky, if we don't run into a buzzsaw somewhere in a regional, and those things can all happen. And you said it earlier, Chuck, a lot of things have to go right to win a national championship, timing and just, it's all there.
Kentucky's now 12-1 in the league. I don't know how much you've gotten to watch them, but they're clearly a team you got to pay attention to with just their record. How good is Kentucky in baseball this year, Scott?
They're as good as Arkansas. They're as good as anybody in the nation. They hit the ball. I think they hit the ball better than we do. There's some really, really good hitters. They're very consistent up and down the lineup. They've got some great arms, but everybody's got some great arms. And you see our games, we go in, we go, well, like Alabama this weekend, look at their record, go, well, we should just stomp them. We're not going to stomp anybody unless they just, they kind of give up the ghost in the third game or the second game, or they're way down early for a couple of grand slams. All of a sudden they put guys in there that never throw. Then you look at a score like we had against North Carolina State that year, where we beat them by 20, and then we lost the next two. So those anomalies can happen, but Kentucky's great. Kentucky, it'll come down to their draw postseason. I'd love to see us in Kentucky and a couple other SEC teams in the World Series. I mean, I think that'd be fantastic because anybody can win it.
Yeah.
Anybody can win it.
Another chance to watch Hagen Smith and the Razorbacks tonight and throughout the weekend. Appreciate the insight, buddy, and we'll catch up next week.
It's always enjoyable to watch. Can't wait.
All right, Scott Tabor, former Razorback, with us here on the Morning Rush. His visits are always brought to you by Alumni Hall, your ultimate Razorback shopping experience. The best and largest selection of licensed apparel for the whole family is there. Nike, Champion, Columbia, Onward Reserve, Peter Millar. Plus, they have Yeti accessories and gifts. I mean, anything you can imagine. If you're looking for the perfect gift for someone, they're going to have that for you. If you're a student, faculty member, or you have served in the military, bring your ID for an extra discount. You can also earn cash back with Hall Pass rewards. You get $10 off for every 150 points that you earn. Alumni Hall, located next to Whole Foods, or shop alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, it's where Razorback fans shop. We got one eye on the Masters this morning. Tiger and Jason Day and Max Homer in a group finishing up. I guess they're on 16 now.
Tiger's falling apart.
He bogeyed 14. What he doing 15?
He's getting ready to do it again.
Is he? All right.
Yeah. Today will be his last day at the Masters. I hate it. I mean, I wish Tiger could make the cut. I don't think it's going to happen.
He's got to finish the first round, and then he's got to
be a
play
long
18
day.
more. So maybe he's been hitting the ball well. So
not today.
Not today. I mean, it's unfortunate that the weather delayed him. He probably could have ended up maybe a couple under par after that. All right, we'll get back to John Calipari, Arkansas basketball. Clay Henry's going to join us in the third hour, and we'll talk about his conversations with Warren Stevens and John Tyson and some behind-the-scenes details that Clay was able to get. He wrote about them. You can read it at hitthatline.com. The red-white game is at noon tomorrow. You and Quinn have the call on that. It's going to be a nice 2-hour package of football. It's going to be, I guess, really the ones against the rest of the team.
Yeah, there's going to be I think the first half's really going to be worth watching. The second half, if you're one of these people that wonders about depth, one of these guys that calls in and you're one of these smart fans, hey, I want to know about the second and third teamers. Well, you'll get your chance to watch them in the second half. But I think the first half is going to be really good. And this is going to be as close to, at least for a half, it's going to be as close to a real game, if you want to use that term, as we've had in a while.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people obviously going to be looking at the new kid at quarterback and Green. I think maybe the biggest question to come out of spring football, and I don't think it's going to be answered in a game tomorrow, is, Chuck, who's going to be the number 2 quarterback? Because it seems like he's sewn up the number 1 spot.
Oh, there's no question there. I think we'll have a battle. And I think any of the 3 could end up as the number 2. And I think any of the 3 could end up as the number 4, just to be honest about it.
It's that close.
I think if they played today, it's just my opinion, think if they played today, Malachi Singleton would probably be the second quarterback if you had to go that route. That's a big if. But, we're not to the first game yet. But I'm going to tell you, KJ Jackson is the real deal. He's the real deal. I would not be at all surprised if by the time we get to the eve of the season opener, he's not the number 2 quarterback. I would not be at all surprised by that.
Let's talk about this offensive line. I mean, it's been a huge storyline the last couple of years, and one that's been the hamstring to kind of hold the team back in many ways. We're going to have noticeable improvement on the offensive line. Is that they've still got to identify a left tackle at this point?
Oh, I think they know who the left tackle is going to be. It's going to be Carmona. The right tackle is going to be Blackstock, and that's how they're going to line up. Now, I do think that you will see some activity in the portal when you get to the end of spring practice, and I think that Arkansas will, you may see him pick up another lineman or two on both sides of the ball. But now those are your tackles. Blackstock's he's the bad dude of the group. Blackstock's the bad dude.
Got a bad attitude.
Carmona's the one who has the ability, I think, to bring the room together, so to speak. I think he may be if you want to use that old tried and true term, heart and soul, he may be the heart and soul, but if you get in a fight, you want Blackstock on your side.
I loud and clear. Read that message loud and clear. All right, more coming up. We're live at Wheels RV. The Northwest Arkansas RV Show and Outdoor Party is tomorrow. It's going to be up on Rogers. If you're out on West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, right behind Nukes, you're going to see a bunch of RVs there from not only Wheels RV, but Moix. They got all the top brands. They're going to have financing on site, so you can do the whole deal right there. And plus food trucks, variety of vendors, bounce houses for the kids, free parking. So it's not going to cost you anything to get in, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're at all in the market for a new RV, the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party is in Rogers, and we're here at Wheels RV this morning. Come by on your way in and say hello at Wheels RV. Be a great time and a great place to take that RV, head over towards the White River, stop in and see our friends at Gaston's White River Resort. They've got 2 miles of White River frontage right there, 80 private cabins and lodges. Even if you don't fish, it's a great place to get away, have dinner, just relax, unwind, build a fire in the fireplace. They got kitchens in their private cabins and lodges. So it's just an awesome, awesome spot in our state. And, of course, fishing's always the star of the show, and their guided fishing trips you can reserve. Just call 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
I guess there's pros and cons to procreating.
Most of the pros are over at the very beginning of the process.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Nukes. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and bounce house for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th. 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installation, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This NFL Draft Player Profile is brought to you by ServPro.
Today, the NFL is full of general managers who'd erase past draft boards and pretend like it never even happened. For instance, 198 draft picks were taken before the New England Patriots drafted Tom Brady, even though Brady was considered by me to be a proven big game signal caller who stood tall in the pocket with incredible accuracy and touch on his throws coming into the draft.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
This is The Morning Rush.
Great to be on here with you guys. I think you guys do awesome work, and I really enjoy listening to you.
Fort Smith's largest used car sale ever. Now through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 500 vehicles to choose from. Cars as low as $49.95. Bring your trade-in. Multiple appraisers are on site. Over 30 banks on hand to get you financed. No payments for 90 days. Sales tax paid. And enter to win a new four-wheeler during the inventory liquidation event. Now through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Get ready for an adrenaline-packed weekend as the University of Arkansas Fort Smith baseball team hits Crowder Field on the UAFS campus April 12th through the 14th. The Lions host Cameron University in an epic 4-game homestand. Kick off the excitement with the annual Teal Tailgate starting at noon on Friday, followed by first pitches at 1 o'clock daily and doubleheader action on Saturday. Admission is free. Visit UAFSLions.com for more details and run to the roar with your UAFS Lions.
Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100. Need a new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
If you knew all the Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
How do I drive more traffic to my website? How do I increase my Google rankings? If these are just a few of the questions you have for your business, then we should talk. In addition to sports radio marketing, ESPN Arkansas can help your business be found online. From website design to geo-targeted campaigns, search engine marketing, social media management, streaming video campaigns, and much more. ESPN Arkansas is your digital marketing partner. Go to ESPNArkansasDigital.com for your free digital marketing audit or email us at sales@hitthatline.com to schedule an appointment.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas Razorbacks in our championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, your Hog Update. Going to be a busy day on the Hill tomorrow. Red-white game. Gets underway at noon. Stadium's going to open at 10:30 tomorrow to get you ready for the action. You'll hear it here on the radio at noon. Pregame begins at 11:30. Some guy named Chuck Barrett and Quinn Grovey will be along with the call. We'll have it for you right here on ESPN Arkansas and the Hit That Line Now app. And I guess this is, in many ways, Bobby Petrino's coming out party as the offensive coordinator. A lot of the public still hasn't seen him in any official capacity. For most of the state, it will be tomorrow.
Or they're going to wonder if John Calipari is going to be there.
Yeah, well, they might be.
Is Calipari going to be at the football scrimmage? Oh, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be I think people are going to enjoy watching it. I think they'll have a lot of people watch it on television. There'll be people there. It's going to be a nice day. Spring games are interesting creatures. I'll put it that way. You've got some folks who want to pay attention to the football. You've got other folks who, for them, it's a spring day, and going to the football game's part of their spring day. Maybe not the only thing they're going to do that day. Football people always look for, football things to talk about when it's over with. And, it'll be interesting to see. I don't suspect, the one thing that I will say about Petrino's offense, and I will say this about it, is that our idea of what his offense is going to look like is based on what we saw Ryan Mallett and Tyler Wilson do. I think if we want to have an idea about what Arkansas's offense is going to look like, watch what he did with Lamar Jackson at Louisville. I'm not saying this guy's Lamar Jackson, but I'm saying I think philosophically, in terms of that may be too strong a word, but I think Green's a similar type, has a similar type skill set. So I think that we'll see him do more things. The one thing I don't think we're going to see tomorrow is Green running. And I think that that's what is going to make the difference when we get to the fall. They're not going to tackle the quarterbacks to the ground tomorrow. Obviously, they're going to when the game starts. But I think his ability to run when it all, comes apart, I think that's one of the things that we won't see tomorrow.
All right, Arkansas baseball, the other item in our Hog update, tonight at 6, tomorrow at 5, Sunday at 1 o'clock, as Arkansas is on the road at Alabama. The Razorbacks are 11-1 in SEC play, looking for their 30th win tonight in the season that's 29-3. They have a 3-game lead headed into tonight in the SEC West. Alabama is 22-11, 4-8 in SEC play, and they are 4th in the Southeastern Conference in the Western Division. That's your Hog Update, and it's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, time to dive into our Fitzman Friday picks. We're on the road here at Will's RV this morning. We'll be telling you more about their NWA RV show and outdoor party as the Fitzman joins us now. Fitzman, I got to ask you, Sean, what are your thoughts when you heard John Calipari is going to be the head coach at Arkansas?
Well, it's kind of like anything else. It's an exciting addition to us, but we'll see recruits, and then we'll see how the first few games go. Then we can make a real decision.
All right, it's gonna be a fun time. Gonna be fun to follow.
That was a measured response.
Yeah, but he's spot on. All right, Christian, let's hit the button. Let's get into it. Our Fitzman Friday picks.
Fenceman Friday Fix. Call the Fenceman for all kinds of fences, controlled access, and custom iron projects. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. We ain't afraid of no work.
All right, going to be looking for some series winners in SEC baseball play this weekend. And we got some really interesting 3-game series that begin tonight. South Carolina is at Florida. Big Eastern Division battle. Chuck, I'll start with you. Gators or Gamecocks? Hogs get the Gamecocks coming up a couple of weeks. Who do you like, South Carolina or the home team in Florida?
Talking to win the series.
I'm talking about winning the series.
I'm going to go with the Gators.
All right, Sean?
Yep, I think the Gators will do it at home.
All right, I'm going to pick South Carolina just to be different.
All right.
Go with the upset.
Different guy.
Yeah. LSU's at Tennessee. LSU struggled, but still been in a lot of games. Tennessee's like number 4 in the country. Sean, do you like the Volunteers or the Tigers?
I'm going to go with the Volunteers because I'm a big Volunteer fan.
All right.
I think LSU's got some life in them. I'm going to go with the Tigers on the road.
Tennessee has been a offensive juggernaut. I'm going to go with Tennessee at home to win that series over LSU. Here's another good one and one to keep an eye on because Arkansas's got these teams coming up. Got A&M coming up. Vanderbilt at College Station to take on Texas A&M. Chuck, who wins the series between the Aggies and the Commodores?
I'm going to go with A&M. I think A&M's good. I think they're legit.
They're the real deal. Sean, I know which way you're going. You'd have to sleep in the doghouse if you didn't pick the Aggies.
I'm telling you, you guys know every time we pull the Aggies up for a pick, I've got to go that way no matter what.
I'm going to agree with you guys. I think A&M's the real deal as well. So, and that would be one to kind of confirm A&M's record in this league if they could beat Vanderbilt at home this weekend. All right, last of our Fence Man Friday picks. Who wins the Masters? Who slips on the green jacket on Sunday? You get double points if you get this one right.
Who you got, Sean? I got to look at it a minute here before I make my call. Before I pick one out of thin air.
You have to give me three choices. That's how much I know about golf.
Well, I won't throw Tiger Woods at you. Bryson DeChambeau is leading the tournament right now at 7 under. Scotty Scheffler is on his heels at 6 under, but neither have played today. Let me give you another couple of names. Max Homa is in third. Danny Willett, former champions up there. Those would be a couple. Tommy Fleetwood.
I'll take the Scheffler guy. Yeah, I'll just take the Scheffler guy.
He's only the number one player in the world, so that's not a bad.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, that's a pretty good pick.
That's a good guess.
Max Homa wins the Masters.
All right, I'll go with DeChambeau just to rock the apple cart.
Saudi guy.
Yeah.
You're one of those
Oh, no, hey, let me back.
Saudi rooters.
Will Zalatoris. I'll go with Zalatoris.
I like Zalatoris.
I'll go with Zalatoris. He's got that Arkansas connection, so to speak, with one of his sponsors. So, all right, that's our Fence Man Friday picks here as we get you ready for the weekend. Looking at the Masters and some SEC baseball. Hey, Sean, you were out last week. We were kind of joking, but you could actually do it. We were talking about you were busy building a fence around the state to keep all the recruits in for the next coach. But seriously, if you need a fence built around anything, 782-3936 is the number.
Yes, give us a call. We've been more than happy to come out and get you a free estimate. And like you said, we can build anything from simple residential, small little white picket fence for your cute home, or all the way up to a good industrial commercial fence. I've got the crews. I've got the people. We've got the great sales staff. We can get it done for you.
All right, 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Have a good weekend, buddy.
Thank y'all very much.
All right, that's Sean from the Fence Man. We're live at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. They are busy getting ready for the NWA RV show and outdoor party. It's this weekend. Begins tomorrow morning at 9 in Rogers on Whitaker Parkway, right behind Nukes. They've teamed up with Moix RV to have a huge selection, on-site financing, tons of great inventory for you to choose from, and the best prices. It's the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party tomorrow in Rogers. We're live at Wheels RV.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters, climbing ladders, and worrying about potential damage to your home? Well, listen up to me now. Leaf Guard of Arkansas has got you covered. Introducing Leaf Guard, the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market, guaranteed to never, ever clog. With Leaf Guard, you can kiss goodbye to all the hassle of climbing up and cleaning out all that muck and mud and shingle grit. No more hiring someone else to do it, or worse yet, risking serious damage and issues by doing nothing at all. Spring is finally here, which means it's time for Leaf Guard's famous Ugly Gutter event. Leaf Guard will swoop in, take down, and haul away all those unsightly gutters at absolutely no charge, and you'll receive an incredible 60% off installation on a whole house Leaf Guard gutter system. But wait, there's more. Ask about the 0% financing options and additional discounts for seniors and military personnel. Do not let ugly gutters ruin your home's curb appeal or cause costly damage. Call 501-664-5400 or visit leafguardandmore.com to schedule your free estimate today. Leaf Guard of Arkansas, protecting your home one seamless gutter at a time.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com. Testosterone levels naturally drop in men with age, often causing a lack of energy, anxiety, weight gain, diminished libido, and performance issues. Don't suffer in silence. Call Maverick Male Medical in Fayetteville today for more about testosterone or weight loss therapy. They focus on your excellent care, optimal health, and performance. Call Maverick Male Medical today at 305-8206. That's 305-8206. Or go to maverickmalemedical.com.
This is the Morning Rush.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is the reigning champion of my own conference, Robert.
You do realize that's not a thing.
Well, I did receive a plaque commemorating that accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was elected the president of Mars. Anyway, Hog fans, it's that time again.
It's baseball season. And Hog fans, the Stadium Shop has everything you need for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts, sweatshirts, man cave stuff, and even a Razorback original, the bases loaded beer hats.
Plus, ladies, as well as a restocked women's section. We have the bases loaded beer stein boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of like those old-time space alien antennas, you know.
Yeah, well, not really.
So when you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road, next door to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can shop us on them WW Interweb Facecram. You get it, man.
Dad, do you mean the website?
Yeah.
Which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
As always,
go Hogs!
Get ready for an adrenaline-packed weekend as the University of Arkansas Fort Smith baseball team hits Crowder Field on the UAFS campus April 12th through the 14th. The Lions host Cameron University in an epic 4-game homestand. Kick off the excitement with the annual Teal Tailgate starting at noon on Friday, followed by first pitches at 1 o'clock daily and doubleheader action on Saturday. Admission is free. Visit UAFSLions.com for more details and run to the roar with your UAFS Lions.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
Are we still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Sunny sky today. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the low to mid 70s. Later tonight, nice and clear, and overnight low in the upper 40s. Saturday, blue skies, sunshine. Our high will be into the upper 70s to lower 80s. Sunny, breezy on Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
We are here at Bud Walton Arena, where it is about as loud as the building could get.
You're not entertained. The loudest arena to start a game I've ever been in.
This is a hard place. You don't come here expecting to win. Let me tell you that.
The name, the brand, the identity that he brings to a program that has a storied, rich tradition, an outstanding fan base in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Big recruits will follow and winning will follow. John Calipari gets to go to a proud program with Final Four national championship pedigree.
That's a program that is built to win.
Arkansas needed an adrenaline jolt. John Calipari is going to give them that.
Kentucky's the bluest of blue. There's only a few schools like that, and Arkansas is one of them.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McCarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush. We're live at Wheels RV tomorrow. They've already taken a lot of the operation over to Rogers for the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party. There's still some selection here, but they're going to have a big outdoor party tomorrow. It's going to be on Whitaker Parkway behind Nukes near Wright's Barbecue, right in that area in Rogers, teaming up with Moix for a huge outdoor show. That you can go by and get financing on site. They're going to have stuff for the kids like bounce houses, food trucks, and a lot more, and financing on site to make sure that you can get the deal done. The best brands of the last 10 years, like Grand Design, will be on site with a great lineup of Transcends, Imagines, Reflections, and more. Representatives on site to assist and answer all your questions. So that's why we're at Wheels RV this morning, getting you ready for their big event tomorrow. And we'll be telling you more, but we invite you to come by and see us this morning here at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Couple things, and Clay Henry's going to hop into the conversation in just a few minutes. Keeping an eye on the Masters. Tigers at even par, scrambled around. We're watching the conclusion of the first round, and then they'll get re-going. Tigers going to play 23 holes today and attempt to make the cut. Bryson DeChambeau is the leader after one round at 7 under par.
I'm rooting against him.
DeChambeau,
I don't know why.
I've
never cared for him. I mean, he may be a great guy. I don't know, but I'm not rooting for him.
Get all the odds for this weekend of the Masters. You can find those at betsaracen.com. Everything from first round all the way through the final round. You can pick the best player by nationality. You can pick, there are so many categories. I mean, you look at the list on all the Masters bets. It's unbelievable. BetSaracen.com is the place. So do that. BetSaracen.com, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by McClarty Daniel. McClarty Daniel has a vehicle to fit both your style and budget. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, you're never too far from a good deal. Visit McClartyDaniel.com to find your next ride.
Go to hitthatline.com, and we're glad to have Clay Henry writing columns for us now. Clay, I thought it was one of your best works that you've done in quite a while, as you really gave us some behind-the-scenes access to what happened in this coaching search, and we're glad to have you here for a few minutes of conversation. When I started reading and I saw that you had talked directly to John Tyson and to Warren Stevens, I knew at that point we were probably going to get something pretty juicy about what really happened in this coaching search.
Yeah, I tried to get Chuck Barrett, but he didn't return my calls.
That's not true.
I'm joking. Chuck's pretty quick to get back to me, as I am with him. I think these are the kind of things that are fun to write. And I got to admit, there's some things that I don't get jazzed up to write anymore. And, and I'm probably going through the motions. I'm old. I'm older than the new basketball coach by several years. And, I pick my spots. but that was a spot that I really, really liked and enjoyed visiting with those guys. And, I was hoping for just maybe a text back from Warren, and he's like, I'm not on the court. He's already at Augusta National, which is, like his happy place. They own a house. They call it a cabin, the Stevens cabin, but they own, a massive cabin on the course. So that's where he's at. And he was, the only thing he was sad about is that they had a members function, 2 nights ago, and he couldn't watch. And Chuck, I want to tell you, I thought you did a lot without doing a whole lot. And that's the sign of a good one.
Thank you. Pat Summerall over here.
Yeah. So my idea of a good column is to let the people tell the story. Let the story, and don't get in the way. And the good ones do that. And that's always my goal is, find a good source and get out of the way. And man, you had a good source.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He was good. Thank you.
And how many more questions did you have? Or was that it?
Well, no, I mean, it was funny. They had, and you know how these things work. I don't have anything to do with it other than they hand me cards and I follow instructions. And that really is the truth. I think they'd had a couple of meetings on what questions were going to be asked. And Coach Calipari pulled out a little sheet of paper and a pen and wrote down 5 topics and said, ask me this and I'll run on that. And that's how it went.
That's fair. I mean, that's the, and he didn't look at any notes. I mean, I don't think he did. You were a little closer to him than I was.
He had a few written down there. He's a very gifted speaker. I mean, it's not the first time he's given a speech, clearly. And he's very good. An extraordinary communicator.
Yeah. I mean, in what I wrote, you got a glimpse of why he's the best recruiter in the business. I don't care what sport you name. I mean, it's, you just look at the list of the guys that he's signed and have come to play for him. It's amazing. It really is.
All right, let's get down to it. When you talk to these guys, I mean, kind of tell us what they said. Kind of recount, if you would, sort of what you wrote.
Well,
kind of tell us the backstory.
Well, 2 things. One, first with John Tyson, I really was interested in how he became friends with our new coach, because they're obviously close, and that was interesting all in itself to me. And he said, he reached out to him 20-something years ago, and it was about he was perplexed on. I'm summarizing; these aren't exact words. About some things he was dealing with in business. How do you motivate? How do young people? We're old, Chuck. I mean, how do you? How does a man of our age motivate?
I'm not as old as you, just for the record. But go ahead with your story.
You look older, but that's okay. So I'm glad that we cleared that up. You're not as old as me, but it's. He wanted to know about that, and so he reached out, and that just kind of launched a friendship. And I'm pretty sure that when John comes to town, I mean, I'm talking about John Calipari. It's Calipari, right? I'm going to get that right. He comes to Herman's. I mean, that's where I'm going to talk in last names. That's where Tyson hangs out. That's where he holds court. The people that I know that go to Herman's, and I'm a Herman's guy, by the way. My wife and I ate a lot of Thursday night dinners there because it was less crowded, and we could get that back corner table, that's just kind of lodged in on the other side of the fish tank. The coach, he held court, and I mean, and he met everybody, and he said this the other night, that he's a gatherer. But that's what he does. He just gathers people, and he's gonna, the stories at Kentucky. And I talked to Dane Bradshaw about, he would go to a coffee shop, and one of his good friends now is a rabbi. Well, he's a devout Catholic. That doesn't make any sense, but he is. And in the, but he's like that when he would come to Fayetteville. And, he was the villain, and he played a really, really good villain. Now, let's be honest. We didn't like him, but he still made friends in this town, and he made friends wherever he went, and he will continue to do that. So that's what I talked to about with John. That was my focus, my interest. And then the other night when everybody was leaving, I reached out to John and just to kind of congratulate him, and he's grinning from ear to ear. I mean, he was really a happy man. As happy as I've ever seen him. And I've seen him out on his golf course, and he's really proud of that. But this was different. And he was like, "Please call Warren." Well, I can call Warren. We talk from time to time, and it is always about Razorback sports. If I want to talk about Augusta National or Lotion, he'll do that, but he really wants to talk to me. So I texted him early yesterday morning, and he's, I was hoping to get a line back from him, like a text, because I figured he was busy, and members have duties during the tournament. I mean, they really do. And, they might be, on a tee, they might be in a tower, like to help TV people or whatever. And he said, "I've got some time. Please call me right now." And we talked for 30 minutes, about a lot of things. And the thing that just kind of jumped out to me immediately is that he was on board with Muss and had a fund set up with just Stevens money. In other words, some of his lieutenants there at Stevens had all pooled together to set up a retention fund. And it was done 2 years ago, when he had the good Elite Eight run to try to keep him. And he gets nothing if he leaves, but if he stays 7 years, he rakes it in. And I have no idea how much it is. That's not in his contract. That was done just by, the folks at Stevens. And so Hunter called Saturday morning and said, "Here's what's going on. This is who we're going to target. Not sure we got him, but would you do that?" And he's like, "Yeah, would you?" Because the money's still there. Musman didn't get it. He didn't get a penny of it because he didn't he had 5 more years to go. And the structure of this deal will be for 5 years because that's the term of his contract. The term of Musselman's contract 2 years ago was 7 years. I think maybe some people don't understand that he had signed a 7-year contract. And he said, "Yeah, we're on board." But he, Warren said when he said that name, sitting head coach at Kentucky with a national champion, he said, "If you had a feather, you could put it on my chest and I would have fallen backwards." He said, I did not see that coming. And he said, immediately asked if John Tyson was involved in the loop. And he goes, "Yeah, that's how it got started." And he said, "Well, I'm going to call him." And so then they called. He said, the first thing he said to John was, "You done good."
Yeah.
I mean, in those words. And then it's like, how can I help? Stevens has been involved with NIL, but they're going to a higher level, which everybody needs to. They're not there yet. They're not where it needs to be. Not in basketball. Even with some new money coming in, they still need more, and they're not where they need to be in any of the other sports. And Warren mentioned that. And another thing, he says, "I'm proud." He said, "This is my school. This is my family school. It's been, our history is great." And he says, "What I really like is this is a joint deal. Northwest Arkansas, Central Arkansas, and other areas of the state are all involved in this. Yeah. They're not. It's not just these two men." But it helps to have 2 billionaires involved. But it was kind of fun to write all that. And then I called Dane Bradshaw, who I knew had a relationship with our new coach, dating back to when he was a player at Memphis White Station, and John just getting started at Memphis. And it was interesting. He said, "I committed to Bruce Pearl I didn't go to Memphis. You know, all the good players in Memphis were going to Memphis at that time. That was before they really were winning big. And he said, I called him. You know, it's like, that's a tough call to make. And he says, John just embraced him and said, don't worry about it. And he said, you'll be here in the summer. You come play with our guys in the gym. You got a place here anytime you need it. So that's just the way he is. And then the other things Dane said was really interesting. Says Catholic charities in Arkansas will benefit. And I can't remember if he said he tithes. You know, tithing is 10%. That's what it says in the Bible. Devout Catholic. And he said when they had the floods in Kentucky, you know, he got his players out to different towns that were hit. They raised money. He says what he does is that he believes that you wash the feet of the poor. I mean, straight from the Bible. So that's the kind of guy we got. That's not the kind of guy we think of him. Again, he's the villain. Guys, he's our villain now.
Clay, we appreciate you hopping on for a few minutes. It's a great column. It's free to read. Just go to hitthatline.com on your phone, tablet, or computer.
There's some others there too. You can search down. Yeah,
go back,
some others.
All the ones you've written. There's three now up. And Clay, we've been glad to have. We've always been proud to have you on board. We're now very happy that you're writing this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay on radio. I mean, but I really like to write. I like to be able to go back and check things. You know, when you talk on the radio, man, it's out there. You don't get a chance to redo it. I mean, it's out there. I mean, hey, Chuck and I have talked about stuff we'd like to delete and redo, but man, you can't do it. I can do that writing, so it's more fun to me.
Well, Clay, enjoy your weekend and appreciate a few of your minutes.
Hey, y'all have fun. I'll be listening. I'm driving to Fayetteville now and picking up Sarah, and we're going to KC to hang out with my brother, and we're going to go see Messi play soccer Saturday night at Arrowhead. So it's a big weekend, big father-daughter deal, and so I'll be listening to you guys on the morning as I'm headed across Arkansas.
All right, man. Great to talk to you. Clay Henry with us here on the McClarty Daniel hotline as we are getting ready for the red-white game tomorrow. But tremendous sense that when you're able to pick up the phone and get a hold of Warren Stevens and John Tyson, both in the same morning, and they take your calls, that's being well connected. And Clay's well connected. I'm glad he wrote that in his column, and we're all able to kind of get that peek behind the curtain that Clay provided.
It's always interesting, you know, to hear the backstory about things, and there are a lot of major players in our state, and as you know, Clay was quoting Mr. Stevens, and I'm sure Mr. Tyson feels this way too. I mean, it's their school, it's our school, it's our state school, it's where, you know, most all of us have had family members go at some point in time. So you are proud, and if you are of means to be able to help, as they are, obviously that's, you know, they jumped in with both feet. And you know, the thing that I would go back to, what we talked about a little bit earlier this morning, this has elevated our entire state the last 48 hours. Business is good. Everybody's mood's up. Everyone's looking forward to the weekend. There's a lot to be happy about.
Someone told me this the other day, and I've never thought of it in this way. Just like we have lakes and hiking trails and biking trails and great roadways and all of these things, all the amenities of living in our state, wherever you're at, having a sports team that is competitive nationally and competes for championships and that the state's proud of is like an amenity in the state of Alabama. That football program has been an amenity to the citizens of the state of Alabama. Why can't it be at Arkansas? And it has been for to a degree. We're just trying to take it to another level. It's a quality of life thing to many of us, the better the Razorbacks do.
And let me pause just for a second. I want to talk to you about McClarty Daniel. These are great automobile partners, great automobile people. The one thing that you're going to discover with McClarty Daniel, and you'll notice it the moment you walk in the door, is you are treated well. You are welcome. You are not interrupting them. In fact, you are the center of their day. And you're going to find that out when you walk into any of their 6 dealerships. Now, you're going to get a great automobile. You're going to get a great deal on that automobile. And what you're going to find when it's over is there are going to be things that really make you glad you're a McClarty Daniel customer. Saturday service. I mean, Saturday service is important. Something to drive while they're servicing your automobile. That's important too. But you want to feel like you're part of the family, feel like you're welcome, feel like you're important. That's the way they make you feel at McClarty Daniel, and that's why it's such a great customer experience. They've got 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville. They've got a wide selection of automobiles. You can check it out at McClartyDaniel.com.
You buy into that a winning team and in success in sports is much like an amenity you'd have?
Well, I think it's nice when you're winning. I think the Razorbacks are ingrained in our fabric, whether they're winning or not. I mean, I think it's how we mark time. It's just part of our fabric. It's part of who we are. Now, it's better when they're winning, because you get to go on vacation in the summer and put your T-shirt on, and you got something to brag about, and folks like that. But there are a lot of brands out there. Brand's a big word in this day and age. There's no more enduring brand in our state than the Razorback up on the chest. That logo is the most enduring brand.
All of our conversation about Razorback basketball is brought to you by Lindbergh Real Estate Group and by Maverick Male Medical. We are live at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party is this weekend, 9 to 5 on Saturday, 9 to 4 p.m. on Sunday. It's in Rogers behind Nukes and Wright's Barbecue. We'll tell you more about the show coming up and all the big brands with Wheels RV.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Hey, everybody.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing.
I think I'd side with Ty as much as anybody. I'd listened to this program for years, first time I called in.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a ball crushed in a deep right center field by Souza. Nolan Souza out of here. 3-run homer to right center. And the Hogs have broken the game open 6-3.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
We'll have Razorback baseball for you on most of these ESPN Arkansas stations later on tonight. You can join us here or at hit.com for Phil Elson and all the coverage down at Tuscaloosa this weekend. Key 3-game series for the Razorbacks as they take on Alabama, who is in 4th place right now in the West. The Hogs have a 3-game lead over the rest of the field in the SEC. Christian, you said we don't have Larry?
Working on it.
Efforting. All right. Efforting Larry. Let me know if we catch up with Larry. We are live at Wheels RV this morning, visiting with the staff here, and the big dog is here. Lee J, Chris, they're all here getting ready. Big event coming up this weekend in Rogers, and they're going to have all of their brands. They have teamed up with Moix RV, and they have got I don't know how many, probably 150 units are going to be over there this weekend. Financing on site. Vendors there, going to have food trucks, and going to be a good time. Bring the kids out, bounce houses. You know, Chuck, if you ever want to go camping, this weekend's going to be the place to get you fixed up to do it in style.
Wonder if we could get hurt in a bounce house. You think you could get injured in a bounce house?
You and I?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You think I'd get hurt?
We're both way too old for that.
Okay. I just wonder. It sounds fun, but I'm afraid I might, get hurt.
Depends on if you get trapped in there with the other kids.
Yeah,
now, if it's just you, you might make it.
that's
But
a
if
good
you get
point.
trapped in there with them other kids in the bounce house,
push those little kids around.
I think you and I are more the food truck speed. I think we need to be over there with the taco truck or something.
Yeah.
Get a brisket sandwich or something.
Can't sprain an ankle doing that.
No. So we'll catch up with Larry Rath later on. He's I guess he's busy making
selling
deals.
a car.
Yeah, I guess so. He too busy for our call this morning. But keeping one eye on the Masters. Tiger's finishing up his round right now of the first round because
Max Homa, my guy,
was suspended due to darkness last night, and he had 5 holes to play this morning. So we got one eye on that. I think Tiger's at even par as he's coming up the 18th hole right now. So keep an eye on that. Red-white game tomorrow at noon. Going to be, I think, a good crowd, good weather. They got a car show. You can go out to that and then go in and watch the football team.
About that.
Yeah, a classic car show. You a classic car guy?
Well, I mean, they're okay.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great day. I think there's going to be a good crowd. I think all over, not just Northwest Arkansas. I think all over Arkansas. It's going to be a busy Saturday. That's why they're having an RV show in Rogers. It's going to be a busy weekend. I mean, there's going to be people out and about. A lot of them will go to the football game, I think.
Yeah.
At least for a while.
Yeah, and we'll keep an ear on baseball here on the radio, watch the football game, and be a big crowd there.
You can go work on your tan. You can go work on your tan tomorrow. It's going to be a sunny day.
Yeah, and temperature's going to be nice. Going to be pretty mild in that regard. All right, what do we expect for baseball this weekend? They have just been red hot. They're looking for their 30th win this weekend. Can Bama slow this team down? We've gotten to the point we think if they do anything other than a sweep, something's wrong.
Yeah, and then that's they're not going to sweep everything the rest of the way. But I think if they continue to do what they do, baseball is such a game about consistency. There is such an ebb and a flow to the season, and I keep waiting on them to hit a slump, and they've not hit one yet. And they may be that good. They may have so much depth that they may not hit one. I don't know. But they're making it look easy, and it's not. And so I think that there may be a point at some juncture where reality slaps you in the face. You don't want it to be a weekend like this. You know that when you go to Kentucky, you're going to have to strap it on. You know that when you go to Texas A&M at the end of the year, there may be a conference championship on the line. Those things are givens. You don't want to get into a situation where you have a bad weekend at a place where they may not be as good as what you got coming up. But when I look at this team right now, you were talking about holes a little bit earlier with Tabor. I think you keep doing what you're doing. It's such a game of consistency. If they can continue to pitch well and play great defense, you've got to play great defense when you pitch well. If you don't play great defense, great pitching, sometimes it doesn't matter. Great defense can overcome a bad pitch here and there that's hit sharply somewhere. So I just think there's a basic day-to-dayness to the game that right now they are mastering. And you just try to keep it going. And that sounds simple, but it's very difficult.
Arkansas's made it look easy as we're talking about. They have a 3-game lead in the West, but as you're talking about with A&M and LSU, I know what their record is, but you even picked them in our picks earlier to maybe go win that series at Tennessee. I mean, I think even when you look at a team like Auburn, who lost by a run to Kentucky last night, Arkansas sweeps Ole Miss, but those games are competitive. I know Arkansas is dominating the West, but I don't think it's because these other teams are just slappies.
No, I think Arkansas is just that good, or has been so far. And here's the thing, and it's not fair, but I don't recall hearing very many people a month or two ago go, hey, man, we're going to win the outright SEC championship. No. That's not what they were saying. They were saying, we're going to go to Omaha. We're going to win it all. So I think you position yourself for that. Yeah. It would be great. Look, I was doing their games one year when they went 22-8 in the league, and I thought that was remarkable. They got a chance maybe to get better than that this year. But what matters most is still what happens in June.
All right, we'll look at the SEC update, look at the other SEC series coming up. We're live at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. This weekend is the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party. All the top brands from the 2 best RV dealers in the state, both Wheels RV and Moix RV, are all going to be in one spot in Rogers behind Nukes and Wright's Barbecue. They're going to have the on-site financing. The hottest new brand in the industry, Brinkley, will be there with travel trailers and all of the toy haulers, and they'll showcase their full lineup. It's all this weekend, 9 to 5 Saturday, 9 to 4 on Sunday in Rogers, the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from tuning.
This is awesome.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck.
It just means more.
I know one thing, the SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
Let's look at the baseball schedule around the SEC for our SEC update, brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Already action last night. Missouri is at Georgia. Georgia in a slugfest wins that one 15-10. We were talking about Kentucky earlier. They're the first to 12 wins in this league. They downed Auburn last night on the Plains 6-5. I keep wondering if Kentucky's the real deal, but after last weekend and a win last night, Chuck, I can't help but believe they are the real deal.
You know, they've not been as dominant, frankly, as the Razorbacks have been in some of their games, but they're winning. You know, they're and it still counts. I mean, whether you beat somebody by 1 or by 5, I mean, it's still a win. And they're 12-1. And you know, when Tabor said earlier, you asked him how good's Kentucky, he says good as Arkansas. Well, you are what your record says you are, and that's what the record says.
Other series this weekend, Mississippi State is at Ole Miss. They'll try to bounce back from a sweep last weekend at the hands of the Razorbacks. South Carolina and Florida down in the swamp. I think that's going to be as interesting a series as there is on the slate this weekend, Chuck.
Florida's better, but that doesn't mean they'll win the series. Yeah, that'll be a good series.
The other one I got started here, well, there's 3 kind of marquee series outside of Arkansas and Bama to us. Vanderbilt's at A&M. This is going to be a put-up-or-shut-up weekend for A&M, I believe.
Well, and it is in a sense for Vanderbilt. I mean, you know, Kentucky's about to run away with that other side. And Vanderbilt, you know, they got to catch them. And so they can't afford, if they're going to catch them, to, you know, to go down there to A&M and have a bad weekend. I think baseball is a little bit different, though, in that your number one goal is to be playing good ball. You know, play good ball. You can have a good weekend. You can play a good, clean baseball series and still only win 1 game. But if you're playing good, clean baseball when the tournament starts, the competition that you're facing is not always going to be of Southeastern Conference caliber. I mean, it's just not. So I think all these teams right now, they'd love to win these series. They would. But I think more than anything, they want to play solid baseball, because if you're doing that when the tournament starts, you're in the game.
LSU is 3-9 in the league. They go to Tennessee this weekend, a top 5 team. I think Tennessee's still number 4. They're 7-5. Is this a last stand kind of weekend even this early for LSU?
No, because if you notice where they are in the rankings, where they are in the RPIs, we used to call it, all that stuff, you look at their conference record, you think, man, LSU's not any good. Then you look at them in terms of the national rankings and where they stand and the projections for the NCAA tournament. And I don't think anybody's saying, hey, I don't know if LSU's going to make the field of 64. They're going to make the field of 64. We're getting almost into a situation in baseball, kind of like basketball. Maybe we've been there even longer in baseball, where your conference record really is not indicative of where you're going to be seated, where you're going to play, and who you're going to go up against when the NCAA tournament starts. You know, I know people get tired of hearing about it, particularly in other parts of the country, but I'm not sure that the gap between the SEC and everybody else is not greater in baseball than it is in any other sport. I know there are other teams out there that have the capability of winning it, but what are we talking? Is it the last 4 champions, 4 of the last 5, whatever, that have been from the SEC?
Well, I'm looking at the D1 baseball poll, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
Arkansas at 1, A&M at 3, Tennessee at 4, Vandy at 6, Kentucky at 8. That's 5 of the top 8.
Yeah, and I mean Vanderbilt. What's their conference record? 7-5.
Yes.
Is that what you said a minute ago? And they're ranked what, top 5?
Mm-hmm.
So it shows you that you don't have to be
They're ranked 6th.
6th. All right. Well, you don't have to be running away with your division in the SEC to be a very highly ranked team. And I don't know that LSU is going to get their first round regional at Baton Rouge, which has seemed almost like a birthright to them over the years. But I still wouldn't want to play them in June.
All right, that's your SEC update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas. They're celebrating their 46th year right now with their anniversary sale. Incredible deals on in-ground, above-ground, and semi-in-ground pools. They can start construction in your backyard as soon as May. You can snag up to $12,000 off on Doughboy above-ground pools, $5,000 off on Doughboy semi-in-ground pools. And they've got hot tubs starting at just $39.99. So celebrate their 46th anniversary at Burton Pools and Spas. They're in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com. Hey, we're running out of weekends to head to Oaklawn. Time to hear that call to post, and our Oaklawn update is brought to you by our friends at Brothers Roofing. Lang Whitman joins us now. Lang, we're down to the last handful of weekends and a handful of days at Oaklawn.
Yeah, there's 12 racing days left, 4 weekends, and we're going to this Saturday we have 2 more big stakes races at Oaklawn as we head down the stretch.
Yeah, the Apple Blossom, a great purse, $1.25 million. Big Grade 1 race on Saturday.
Yeah, and you know, about probably 20 years ago now, I had the privilege of doing a radio interview with Terry Wallace, the longtime track announcer at Oaklawn, and I said something to him expecting to get some pushback, and he actually agreed with me when I said, you know, the Apple Blossom to me is the premier race of the meet over the Arkansas Derby. And he agreed with me, just the history of the race, the horses that have won this race that are champion fillies and mares throughout racing history. You have horses like Bayakoa, Passiana, who won the race twice, Azeri, who won the race 3 times, Zenyatta, who won the race twice, and lately winners Havre de Grace, Midnight Bishu, the Trusca won 2 times in 21 and 22. So this is just a prestigious race across the country. That's why it's a Grade 1 event. And this one has 9 entries, led by the favorite, number 4, Adair Manor, 9 to 5 on the morning line from trainer Bob Baffert. Juan Hernandez comes in from California to ride. Other challengers in the race are number 2, Tax from trainer Randy Morris, with leading Oaklawn jockey Christian Torres aboard at 5 to 1 on the morning line. Number 3, Wet Paint at 3 to 1 on the morning line for trainer Brad Cox. Flavian Pratt in to ride. And number 7, Honored the Lady, 7 to 2 on the morning line, ships in for trainer Safi Joseph with Javier Castellano aboard.
All right, you always give us a best bet on Friday to kind of start the weekend. Who's your best bet today?
Yeah, I had a couple long shots the last couple of weeks that did not run well, so we're going to try to get some of that money back today. Let's dial it back on the long shot. Let's go for a best bet today, and we're going to look at race 10, horse number 1, Colt Fiction at 5 to 2 on the morning line for trainer Jonas Gibson. Leading jockey, as I mentioned, Christian Torres is aboard Colt Fiction today, and leading owner at the meet so far, Staten Flurry with Flurry Racing, are the connections with Colt Fiction. He's had 3 starts at the meet, 1 place and 1 show. His last race on March 2nd, he didn't break at all from the gate, got left, finished 9th out of 12 horses, kind of jogged around the track there once they knew they weren't going to get to the front in that race. His prior 4 races before the debacle last race, ran 2nd or 3rd in every race, takes a drop in class to the $10,000 claiming level after running well for 20 and 30 in prior races. His speed figures tower over this field. I hope we can get 5 to 2 or 2 to 1 on Colt Fiction today. Take the $6 or $7 that's going to pay out, and we'll get the money back we lost the last couple of weeks on the long shots.
Hey, Lang, was it Saturday or Sunday? Like on the last race? You hit the superfecta, did the winner, something like that. Not that I would have any firsthand knowledge about that, but you had a good ninth, if I remember right.
I I think both Saturday and Sunday, I had a good winner in the last race. I know Sunday.
Yeah.
I know Sunday, my top pick won and paid $14.60. I remember that. I did, and one of those days there was a superfecta that had a nice payout as well. So hopefully we can recreate that.
I was with you on
2, 3,
that, man.
4 times a
I was
day.
with you on that.
That's what I like to hear. We like to hear people have winning stories.
Yeah. All right, at the Railbird 333 on Facebook and X as well. Lang, enjoy it this weekend, these final 12 days, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me on, guys. Always enjoyed being here.
All right, Lang Whitman with us here on the McClarty Daniel Hotline,
Lang's
previewing
pretty good.
the Oakland weekend. I enjoy getting his tips. He texts them right to my phone. It's really easy to use and profit on, honestly. So be sure and get that subscription from Lang. Our update brought to you by Brothers Roofing. If you've experienced possible hail damage or wind damage to your roofing system and you're not sure if you got a problem, you need to call Brothers Alexander, 479-353-3877. He'll be up for the fish fry this weekend and to memorialize Dean Weber. He's a former Letterman and former Razorback, and he's been in the roofing business for over 30 years, both as a insurance adjuster and a roofing contractor. So if you need help with your roof, or you just need someone to come look at it, or your insurance adjuster you think has given you the runaround, or you've had a bad experience with another contractor, call 479-353-3877. That's Brothers' direct number, 479-353-3877 for Brothers Roofing and Restoration. All of our coverage of Razorback basketball and the Calipari conversations have all been brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group. Find them online at lindberghteam.com, and by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Find them at maverickmalemedical.com. I guess that's probably one question for this weekend. Hey, is Coach Cal going to be at the Red-White game?
I don't know. I haven't heard one way or the other.
We think all these guys have these lives where they just wave a magic wand and things happen. He's got to move operations from Lexington to here. There's things involved in that. He's got to build a roster. Didn't he get an award out in California?
He did. Went out there to L.A.
Went to L.A.
You
for
got to
that.
go get some players, man.
You got to find some players. So I don't know. I mean, love to see him at the Red-White game, but he's probably got bigger fish to fry.
I don't know. I have no idea what his weekend holds.
I thought maybe he'd be in the booth with you and Quinn.
No, I mean, if he wants to, that's fine.
Well,
I mean, we'll just turn it over to him.
So he could probably entertain for a couple hours.
He could talk.
He could hold court. So it would be fun. All right, get by and see Lee J and Chris and their team. They're going to be up in Rogers. You could drive some RVs up there for. They could probably use your help.
I know.
Shuttling some RVs back.
I told you we need to do a little joyride before everybody came in this morning. Now everybody's here.
Could you even come close to backing one of these things in?
Oh God, no. I would be.
Would you hit everything?
I would be comical.
Maybe we need to do that next time. We'll hook one up for you.
This lot's not vacant enough.
We'll just put some cones out there. We'll see how we could do it. That would actually be entertaining to watch me, you, and Ty all try to back a trailer in a slot. That would. We'd need something imaginary. We need actually, painted lines. We wouldn't need like poles and trees because we'd be a good thing they have a body shop in the back. But
we need a lot of space.
We'd need a lot of space and a lot of training. All right, they can get you financed tomorrow. They're going to have a huge selection. Brinkley's on hand, all the best brands. It's going to be in Rogers. You don't want to miss it. 9 to 5 tomorrow, 9 to 4 on Sunday. Chuck, great to see you. Have a good call tomorrow.
All right.
And we'll
enjoyed it, guys.
Do it again
Great
Monday.
weekend, everybody.
All right, for Big C back at the studio, for Chuck Barrett, for everyone here at Wheels RV, I'm Tommy Kraft. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Masters. We got baseball tonight and throughout the weekend, and the Red-White game for you tomorrow. Be sure and download the Hit That Line Now app to follow along anywhere you are at. Greeny is next. Thanks for listening. This is The Morning Rush.
It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way, because a Weichert real